Welcome back to the AM show. We're glad you guys are continuing to rock with us. We are excited. You know what? Let me kick it off like this. I'd like to say that every neighborhood needs a flower shop. I mean, it represents the heartbeat of the area at its roots. You see what I did there?
I see it.
You know, and we're beyond excited to have the founder and CEO of a floral shop unlike anything you have ever seen, with sophisticated, artistic, and standout arrangements, and much, much more than that. From Brooklyn Blooms, we have in the building LaParis Phillips. We're gonna clap it up. We're gonna clap it up.
Welcome to the
Thank
show.
you for having me.
How you doing this morning?
I'm getting over a little virus, but
Yeah.
I wanted to be here. So I'm sipping on my tea, and I'm ready to be with you guys.
But being in the flower shop must just make you not feel sick, right? Because it's just so pretty. I feel like whenever I look at anything pretty, I like forget how I'm feeling because it builds up my energy. Is that how you
very
feel?
True. Like the flowers really make me feel so much better. Even though I'm not designing much in my office running a business, but I still like look at my cooler and like get some whiffs of it. It's just like a beautiful space to be in.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I love that. And I want to talk about that for a second because you are the CEO, you're the creator of this flower shop, and you're saying that you're not so much involved in the creative as much anymore because you've had to take over as being a business owner. So let's just bring it back before we get to where you are today. So have you always had a green thumb? Like, did you always envision yourself being the owner of a beautiful flower shop?
Later in life, I did.
Okay.
My family I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I moved to New York in 2010, and in college, I worked at a flower shop, and before then, I did like event planning, event decorating, and my family had a balloon shop growing up, so I learned how to create things for sale. Like you could actually make things that people would buy it. Yeah. So my family really taught me that, and I just saw how small business works. And I think that entrepreneurial spirit always been in me because a lot of my family members are entrepreneurs. So my mom had a side hustle. Like I just see people hustling. So I knew coming to New York, being a fashion student, I graduated a fashion degree, but I always did flowers on the side because I knew maybe fashion not gonna work out. So I'm like, I need another job, another career choice that I will actually enjoy. They always say do what you love. So I took that and ran with it. So I worked at the flower shop in college, and my first job in New York was at the flower shop.
Wow.
I was 21, so I couldn't go to any flower shop then because I already had like 3 years of experience. So I've worked at more flower shops than I have in fashion. So, so I guess it was my destiny to become be a business owner. Like I was already a florist, but things didn't work out in fashion. And flowers have always had my back.
I love that.
Always. I can be broke, and I won't be broke anymore because of flowers.
Because of flowers.
Yeah.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Now that started, so you said 21 was kind of the beginnings of everything, right? So how does this transition now into you having a storefront? And you have do you have multiple storefronts? You have two storefronts. So walk us through that transition. So 21, and then what happens after that? Where do you start beginning to create these arrangements for sale?
Sure. So, from 21 to like 25, I was still figuring it out. You know, and I'm trying to do the fashion thing. I'm having a really hard time, but I'm still trying to get through it and make my dreams come true. But I was always into flowers and like designing and wanting to just keep it a hand with it, so I never wanted to lose it. So I always found myself in a flower shop. And so in 2017, I lost my job. I got fired. It was the best day of my life. I feel like the shackles fell off my body. And I was already working on Brooklyn Blooms. Actually, a former boyfriend of mine was the one that encouraged me to start Brooklyn Blooms because it was not a lot of young black women in the industry, and he was like, people are looking for you, and you're amazing. I've never seen anyone like you. You should pursue this. I'm like, actually, I have a name.
Well, tell us the name.
Brooklyn Blooms.
How did it come to you?
I don't know. I love alliteration. And I don't know how, it just came to me. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And then the big B, and I was thinking, imagine the M, McDonald's M, because I wanted Brooklyn Blooms to be as big as McDonald's. So I wanted the B to be able to stand alone by itself, and you know it's Brooklyn Blooms wherever you see it.
Look at that, and it's right there.
Cool.
Look at that. See, what I'm noticing though is you're still mixing that love for fashion you have,
help it.
but now within your flowers, because at the end of the day, it's all about, it's being creative, right? So it's still using kind of your talents in that sense and your passion, but in a different medium.
It's inevitable. I can't help it. I cannot stop liking fashion. I've always liked fashion before I went to school for it. So it's always been a thing.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you're great at it. I love your fit. We talked about this off air, but her fit is fantastic.
It is A1.
So, I always have a green thumb. Though. I was playing in dirt, playing with the worms, climbing in trees.
Oh man.
All the things. My mom get out the trees. So I just love nature. So this is a very fitting career for me.
Being a part of it, that's so wonderful. And I love that you have Brooklyn in your name too. Is that so important now as well? Because I know one of your aims is to really connect with the community.
Sure.
And so tying the name of, everyone knows Brooklyn, right? So tying that into your business, I'm sure that also just like, okay, no, this is a local business. Like we want to support her.
I mean, when I moved to New York almost 16 years ago, I was always trying to get to Brooklyn. I lived in every borough except for Staten Island. And I was always trying to get to Brooklyn because it just had my spirit. Brooklyn is just so fitting to me. So I don't remember how it came, but I was just like, Brooklyn Blooms. I was like, that's it. I'm gonna save it though, because I want to do it when I'm after my fashion career.
Good, and luckily you did.
Wow. So I got the handle. The website was available. The handle, Brooklyn Blooms, wasn't available, so I put Brooklyn Blooms NYC, which is even more like a stamp. You know? So it made it even more official. So I'm glad that wasn't available. So I'm glad I was able to get Brooklyn Blooms NYC. So I was just representing all over the place.
That's amazing.
It all fell together. Perfect.
It did.
Wow. Now I have a question, because when I look at the arrangements and going through your site, everything has this amazing artistic touch to it. So because you're more behind the scenes doing a lot of the emails and correspondence and all the things like that, how do you recreate, which seems like your personal artistic touch, how do you recreate that in all of your arrangements and everything other than that, because you're not actually, you're not putting them together yourself?
Sure. I train my team. My team is amazing. Some people have been with me for 5 years, 2 years. The person that's been with 5 years, she came knowing nothing, just playing with flowers at her home. And so she really learned the style of Brooklyn Blooms, and just how to design, balance, color theory. It's a lot that goes into making an arrangement to make it look like how they look on my website. Just training my team and letting them be artists, letting them be free. Because that's what Brooklyn Blooms is about, being free and expressing yourself.
I love that. I love that.
And just look how big, guys, we have all this footage up on the screen right now of, you've trained your team well, or if you've done this, you've done a fantastic job. Oh, there you go. You're like, that has my signature
But
touch
the other
to it.
ones, I don't. I can't take credit for it. I can take credit for instilling in, the design skills, but even then, they just take it and run with it. Yeah,
and that's the beautiful thing. You have to have a team. You want to be McDonald's, you have to, you have to expand.
I am not a self-profound person. I don't need to do it by myself. I don't want to do it by myself. And I've done it by myself, and it's not easy. So when I first started, it was just me. I'm gonna have my other shop, my first shop on Ocean Avenue, not too far from here. I was the delivery person, admin, designer, going to the market process, and I was doing every job.
Wow.
So it was a rough time. But it was fun though. I was so proud of myself and wow, I'm really doing this.
As you should be. That is something that's impressive, because you see how you were, kind of grinding, doing all that work, and now where you're at, and you have 2 shops, you have people working on you. Now you can focus on the business side and growing it. But how did you learn those skills in the beginning? Because you're entering into a business that's very competitive. Like flower shops, you see a lot of them, but you've been able to kind of break through that mold and have a successful business. So how did you learn about everything that it took, not to only be creative, that's one part of it, but to also make a business successful?
Sure. Again, with my entrepreneurial background, with my family, and flower shops are usually small businesses. So I worked in so many flower shops. I can go any flower shop around the world and I'll be good, I can navigate myself in there. So I think just having that experience with other small businesses, and it's really trial and error. And I knew I was already different, so I'm not worried about everybody else, because nobody's like me. Absolutely no one. So I have no problem. I already knew I was gonna break down the glass. That wasn't a concern of mine. But just being consistent and making money and getting bigger clients, building a team, that took time to do. I started Brooklyn Blooms in my apartment.
In your apartment?
Not too far. I lived on Jefferson, so it's not far from here. My old apartment's literally between both of my shops.
Wow.
Oh my
gosh. It's so crazy.
That's amazing.
It's a blessing. So I did a Kickstarter, so I raised money. I raised $8,700.
Yeah.
And that's how Brooklyn Blooms started. Actually, Brooklyn Blooms started with a pop-up from a family. So forever grateful for them. It was a black family with a brownstone. They had a flower shop underneath their brownstone. They wanted to reopen it, and they reached out to me through DM and said, hey, you know, we're liking what you're doing. Would you like to open a flower shop? I'm like, I don't have a flower shop money. I don't have money to open a flower shop. So the guy I was dating at the time was like, well, maybe we should do a pop-up for the month of January 2016. We did the pop-up. And I paid like $2,000. That's money I had made from weddings that I had to do. This small project, so I put all of it in there. I'm like, I don't have a job here. Let's go all in. And so I really was grinding during that time because I paid to be there. So I had to work and think about, I'm reaching out to large clients. I don't have a team, but I'm gonna figure it out if they say yes. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what I'm doing. I know how to organize people. I know how to design. I just haven't did it in a large group yet, but I can. Just give me a chance. So I really took that time to like cultivate the brand and myself, and just learn like it's not always gonna be easy, but it's not about being easy. It's about getting through the journey and just experiencing and learning, and being creative and being free. Because as an entrepreneur, that's one of the luxuries that you get, right? Freedom. And like freedom to think of your own, be creative on your own, not telling something. It's no one telling you what to do, what to design. Because I worked at flower shops and I had to make the same arrangement 8 times. I was like, when I open my flower shop, I'm never doing this. This is so boring. Why do people want this arrangement anyway? It's so boring. So I was like, it drove me nuts. So a lot of flowers are like cookie cutter. And I'm just not a cookie cutter person. So it's inevitable that my arrangements, my shop, my brand is not cookie cutter.
That's what I actually wanted to ask you about that. Because when I look at your arrangements, they're elevated. I would call them, I would define them as elevated and upscale and luxury. So how did you get to the point, especially when you were starting out? Sometimes if you're starting out the gate with like a luxury product, how did you go about that, like really pushing a luxury product? Because sometimes people say, they're like, hey, I'll buy a Mercedes because I know Mercedes, I know the brand. But if it's a new brand, a new product, and it's luxury, and how did you go about pushing that and sticking and standing 10 toes down on that?
The crazy thing is, a lot of the flowers I get are not super expensive. It's about taste. If you can't buy taste. You can't buy je ne sais quoi. Like, you just got it or you don't. So that's what you see. We use expensive stems, but it's a retail flower shop, so I can't go too crazy. And I'm in Brooklyn. I'm in Bed-Stuy. I want to serve my community. I don't want to outprice myself. I want everybody to be included. If you just got $5, you can get a nice stem. We can wrap it up for you. I want people to feel welcome and not like, ooh, that's too expensive for me. They gentrify my neighborhood. I don't want to do that because I'm not. I've been Bed-Stuy for 12 years. 15 years. Wow. So it's like, this is my community. And I worked here and lived here before I even thought about opening a business. So I'm here to serve my community. So I keep that in mind. And it's just luxury because I have a good taste. I know how to put things together and make it look bad, you know? I just have good taste. That's just what it comes out.
And you are so right. Can I just say, I love your confidence. You are oozing it, and it's so important to believe in what you're doing. Believe in it so hard. I know. Yes, girl. Yes, girl. Let's get a close-up of some of these flowers here because they're absolutely stunning. No, you are so right there. It's because you can have the same ingredients. Two people, you have these ingredients, you have these, but it's how are you putting it together? And that's what you're doing that is so unique. Everyone has roses, but what are you doing with your roses?
And what kind of roses are you buying? There's so many types of, at first I wasn't a rose girl, but when I go to the market, I see so many beautiful ones, and they come out with new ones. I'm like, oh my God, this color. Look at the center of it, it's so beautiful, all these petals. I'm amazed. So it's hot, and I love color. I love mixing textures and mixing colors and patterns. Some of the flowers, like you see this one has like a little dark pink and light pink, and it's like ombre. So it allows you to be really artistic and pull colors out of that one flower and make a whole concept out of it. So it's just, they just allow me to be who I want to be. The flowers don't talk back. they don't judge me.
Yeah.
They just be and let me be. We could be together.
Yeah. Do you talk to your flowers? I know some people talk to plants.
I do. When I design, I'm like, can you just stay here, please? Just stay.
Stop moving out of the way.
You need to. What you need? To stay up there. You messing up my design.
I love it. But you're bringing up going to a market, right? So let's explain for people who may not know. Like, the flowers don't just show up in your shop, right? How does that process? How does it? Right? You're just growing them.
Yeah.
How does that process work from going to the market, grabbing them, and then coming into a beautiful bouquet?
You know what's so funny is people ask me if I grow flowers, and I try not to look at them like they have 5 heads. It's like, where
in Brooklyn?
Where growing flowers at? It's so funny. But I go to the flower market, 28th Street.
Okay.
And I love those guys up there. And like the springtime is coming, so a lot of local things are coming in from like Jersey, upstate, California. Although we do get flowers from around the globe. It's just an exciting place to be.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a way not to go to save more time, but it's like, no, it's like a chef going to the farmer's market to pick out his ingredients. I don't want to take that experience away from myself.
Yeah.
It's fun. I love it. I be inspired by it, and I just know what's going on. You know, it's keep me tapped in. And I get to see my flower friends too.
It's a whole
to run by
community.
each other. It's a community. It's definitely a community.
Yeah.
So like you said, when 2 people get the same thing, something gonna come out different. It's so crazy to see all these people at the same place and how all the designs are so different.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So it's
wild.
creative.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, right?
Now, when you go into the flower shops, are you picking up flowers for both spots, both locations? And do you do that? That's a daily thing?
No. Monday and Thursdays.
Okay.
Or sometimes Wednesdays. It just depends. But yeah, we go to the market twice a week.
Twice a week to do it. Incredible. And you were just mentioning about it being spring coming up soon. And I really want to dive into that because I want to dive into what should we be looking out for spring? What are the flowers that are kind of on the market right now? What are you seeing in the shops? But before we do, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We have a lot more questions. We're so happy that you're here, LaParis. We'll be back with more right after this.
Stay right here. My guys, well, listen, welcome back to the AM show. We have a fantastic guest with us, LaParis Phillips. She owns Brooklyn Blooms, and we're having an incredible conversation about all the things at its roots. So we're going to keep it rolling. We got tons of more questions, and we're just going to continue to dive deep into how she got here and more on her. We were just talking about the fact that you have 2 flagship stores. There's the initial, and then the one closest to us, which is a couple blocks down. Can you tell me how did that start? We were talking about it was like a spacing issue and how you got encouraged to set up the second shop.
Yeah, so my first shop opened in 2017, Mother's Day, because we signed the lease in like April. So we had to be open for Mother's Day.
You have to.
So, and then the same thing happened for our HQ location. We signed the lease in November. We had to be open for Valentine's Day. So that was my contractor's deadline. Like a week before that, y'all have to be finished, or at least like presentable enough that people can come in and we can work. So I ended up having 2 shops because actually my landlady had encouraged me because she didn't want me to leave from that shop. She loves having a flower shop, and I had asked her. I'm like, what's gonna be in my place once I leave? She said, barbershop people. I'm gonna talk to somebody with a barbershop, some other thing. I'm like, we don't need another barbershop. She said, I know. She said, you don't want to stay? I said, but that means I have 2 shops. She said, I think you could do it. And you know what? I thought about, before anybody said, I'm like, maybe what if I could have 2 shops? I said, no, that's crazy. That's crazy. I can't do that. And she brought it back. I'm like, if you put a battery in my bag, then it's over.
You're charged up.
I'm charged up. Like, it's done. And so, and then I talked to my mom, and my mom's so encouraging. So she's like, baby, just do it. And they both was like, if you don't do it, then you'll never know. And I don't like that. I want to at least know.
Yeah.
At least know.
You ask my boyfriend, I like asking a lot of questions. I need to know.
Yeah.
So, I just had to find out. Yeah. And I found out. And here we are. And I asked the universe, the ancestors, to enlarge my territory. And me closing my store wouldn't be enlarging my territory. You know what I'm saying? It would just be uprooting myself and going to here. And people know that store. It's such a cute little shop. So I ended up saying, okay, let's try it. Let's try having both stores. And it's working out so well. It's working out really well. And I want shops around the world. So this is just the beginning.
Yeah, and that goes back to that name because Brooklyn isn't just known here in the city.
Around the
world.
world.
You go to Paris and call it Brooklyn Blooms.
You go to Tokyo.
Yeah.
You go anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
People gonna know Brooklyn. They're gonna know Biggie, Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Popular culture has popularized Brooklyn in such a concrete way that you cannot not know Brooklyn.
Yeah. And now they're going to know LaParis.
That's right.
Even in Paris.
Absolutely.
They're going to know about it. No, I think it's incredible. It's so great. 4 years later for your second shop, and you're running strong there. Now, we spoke about before the break how spring is just around the corner, which I'm sure is probably a busy time for you as well, kind of that transitioning between the winter to the spring. Now, I want to know, because I'm not sure, is it the same way with like fashion where it's like, okay, so like the spring trends this year, we're going to have bell bottoms.
Absolutely.
Is it like tulips are in this year? Is that
like
the thing?
More color.
Okay.
Like the Pantone color, people gotta like, oh, this is the Pantone color of the year. I don't go by any of the trends. So.
Okay.
But I do know about them.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as spring tulips, obviously, spring brings those different varieties of tulips. Like in the winter, you probably just get single, like regular tulips. But the spring brings the variety because that's when they're actually in season. Like daffodils comes out. There's a lot of different spring flowers that like introduce themselves early. Even now, this is like early spring. So yeah.
Yeah. Is there a flower that you're like waiting for it to hit the market right now that you're like, come on, when are they gonna have it? When are they gonna have it? What is it?
It's called Veronia.
Okay.
Oh, it smells so good. Like I can sleep in it. Yeah. It smells. It's hot pink, little like bell, little flower. It's such a beautiful color. It's like a filler flower, but the smell is so. He probably could. If I had he'd be able to smell it from over there.
Really?
Like it's so pungent. It's such a beautiful bloom. I love it.
So you go and you try to look for it. Do they have it?
It's only out for like 3 weeks.
Oh wow.
Yes, very short time.
Okay.
When do they drop?
So I would say next month in April.
Okay. April. All right.
You're gonna be ready. I know that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Every year I'm ready. I'm like, oh my God, you're here again. I miss you. And cherry blossom too. The cherry blossom tree.
Yes.
We have so many cherry blossom trees in Brooklyn. I started to record all of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to make like a little page, like a post of like all the cherry blossom trees in Bed-Stuy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, you are fantastic online on Instagram with your marketing. How important has that been to you, and are you in charge of that Instagram page there? Because it really shows your personality, but it also shows everything you guys are up to. And it's, I feel like nowadays you have to, like, that's your portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when it's running like that, like you're showing behind the scenes of like a photo shoot with flowers and stuff, like it just looks so fun.
It is fun. Yeah, it is very fun. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, basically it's like, are you running that social media account? How important is it to your business?
It's a collaboration. I do have a social media manager. She's been with me for 2 years. So she does the video and just like ideation. We work together. But she does all the filming and stuff. When we're on events, she'll do the BTS because I can't get it.
Yeah, of course.
And I just see how important it is to have.
Yeah.
So that social media person is a really important part of Brooklyn Blooms, of our social media. But yeah, I'm the one that really like creative direct the page.
Yeah.
But yeah, she definitely helps.
Well, you're absolutely crushing it. I love it. And I love seeing I think it's your personality. And that's the thing. It's that people want to buy a personality too. And that has no price tag to it.
Absolutely.
There's no price tag. And so you encompass that entire brand. And I think you see it from that page. I'm like, oh, I'd rather go to that shop because I like that owner, right?
Cool.
I want to, yeah, exactly.
We are cool.
I can kick it with her. Like, yeah, that's fun.
Flower shop in New York City.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Let him know.
Might I say the world?
Yeah, right. Listen, it's coming. He's speaking into existence. Now, I want to know, you do a lot of different events. From the vast events that you do you have kind of like a home run? This is like my favorite type of event that I do. And also with that, how do people, because we want to plug you, how do people get in touch with you for events when they have when they're not coming just for one particular arrangement? How do they go about reaching out to you for that?
I mean, reaching out is called email and telephone number. That's all you gotta do is send us a DM.
Okay.
It's that simple. But as far as my favorite type of event, I would say I do like doing like branded events.
Okay.
Or like events with like installations, flower walls, or like hanging things, just like more structural, bigger pieces. Because I'm not used to that. I'm usually doing arrangements. So when I get to do a large scale piece, it's really exciting because it's challenging to me.
Yeah.
I've actually seen, because there's so much more than arrangements. I saw there was like a floral crown. That thing looked amazing. I was like, that looks incredible. And then you also do, I was reading up, you'll do like the floral arrangement for people who are getting married if they jump in the broom.
I make a broom.
You make a broom. I mean, stuff like that is incredible. That stuff, I guess, I'm not particularly used to seeing the different aspects of, outside of floral.
And that's what Brooklyn Blooms is about.
Yeah.
That's what I knew the floral industry was missing.
Yeah.
Like showing what can be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because people don't know flowers, it's kind of a secret world. You know? So I really want to just show the possibilities.
Yeah. Now, do you guys offer any like workshops or classes?
So we do.
Yeah.
I really don't do a lot of them.
Okay.
But I do one every Valentine's season. I just missed it.
Yeah, okay.
I come out the woodwork once a year.
You come out, hey everyone.
If you want to take a class with me now is the time.
Now's the time to book it and stuff, because I mean, it's one thing to, to put together an arrangement like this. It's definitely an art. It's an art form. So learning how to kind of do it on your own, it's it's a fun activity.
Yeah, and we do corporate events too, where team building events. We'll go out to your offices and we'll do a flower workshop. So we do those.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic, because that is a great team building experience.
It is.
So what's it like working, though, with a client who comes in with maybe a particular vision, and maybe if you're like, I don't know if that vision's going to work,
let them know.
How do you do? Why am I even asking? We already know this. Yeah, how does that work when you're working
For example, I have a client for next week, and the venue is like a French bistro, orange, beige and stuff. And the marketing is like blues and pinks. And it was like, oh, let's just do red and whites. I'm like, what? No. There's no red or white anywhere in this. I said, it's gonna read either Christmas or Valentine's Day. You don't want either. Here are the colors that you should use. Please take my suggestion. Oh, that's great. Gave a mood board. I mean, because I know.
Yeah.
It's clearly red and white, that's it. Y'all would have seen it and been mad. You know what I'm saying?
And then it's your name on it.
And my name.
Yeah.
Well, I would have been like, actually, the picture, you hired me, asked you to do that.
You put a new tag on it.
I did what I was told.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking the blame.
That was their request.
Yeah.
That was their request.
Yeah.
Their request.
For their request, It's a little side thing there.
Yeah.
But no, it's kind of because you are the expert. So if someone is coming to you, you have to give that expert advice. That's what they're paying for.
And it's a team. You know, as a vendor, when you're working on a team with an event plan to come, it's a team at this point. So it's nothing wrong with suggesting something.
Yeah.
Now, if you didn't take it, then I just do it and they won't like it.
I love it.
What it is.
I love it. Guys, if you guys want to work with Brooklyn Blooms, you're going to get an expert. You have a creative genius here in LaParis. I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Seriously, your energy is so infectious, and it's going to last, I think, us throughout the week. Throughout the day, throughout the week. And I hope your flower comes in very soon to that market. I want to see it.
I'm so excited.
I want to see it.
Yeah, and the last thing, we're so local. We're right down the road, so we're definitely going to be stopping in and asking a bunch more questions and just getting the aromas of the.
People love walking through the shop and how good it smells. I can no longer smell. I'm just used to it, but I love that people can smell the smells of the flowers.
Oh, that's so interesting.
I don't smell it unless I'm with the Baronia or like a very pungent flower. When I walk into the store, I don't smell
It's your own scent now, pretty much. It's like you can't smell yourself, really.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so you smell like beautiful flowers then. I think that's quite wonderful. So guys, if you want to get in touch with LaParis or Brooklyn Blooms, we have all the information down low here, the website, Instagram, Facebook, all the works. Once again, thank you so much.
For having me.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we have more of the show on this Thursday when we return, so don't go anywhere. Peace.